Is anyone out there? Is there anybody out there? Out there? Is anybody there? Hello, can anyone hear me? I'm not sure where in the previous thing I was doing the phone overheated and cut out, and I know that when the phone cooled off and I was able to get back in on my end of things, it looked like it was streaming and talking fine, but I'm not sure if anyone heard anything, because I kept saying, is anyone hearing this? And no one said anything. So this is the old French fort built seemingly on top of an Indian mound, and on the other side is might be the Spanish fort. I think it's called the French fort, but I think it's actually Spanish. On the other side is the Metal Museum, which used to be an army hospital. And I gave a nice description of that history of that place, and I'm not sure if anyone heard it. So, for those of you wondering what's going on, I want to do a driving tour of Memphis, showing you cool places where music history happened and studios and stuff. There's a river down there. And I did one this morning, and it worked, but it was really blocky and didn't sound or look very good. And I was doing another one that was looking great and 1080 and all that, and then the phone overheated because it's blindingly hot, especially if you're a black phone strapped to this thing on a dashboard under the windshield, and you're trying to stream in 4K at the same time. So that's the Metal Museum now. It used to be an army hospital back in like the times of the Spanish-American War and World War I. And that hospital used to be in a different part of town on a road called, I shit you not, Shotwell. So the army hospital was on a road called Shotwell. And the name of that road was changed, and I kid you not, it was changed to Getwell. It is still Getwell, but the hospital's not there anymore. It's not here either. Now it's called the Marine Residence. Those are all apartments. And the rest of it down where we started is the Metal Museum. And I'm gonna head towards downtown now if the phone lets me without overheating. I don't want to put it back in the hot spot just yet. If I get into a part of traffic that gets real bad, I'll put it back up there. Oops, that's where I want to go, isn't it? No, that's okay. Yeah, they changed how all this works. There's the bridges to Arkansas. There's an old bridge, 3 old bridges there. One of which is a walking bridge now. There's the old traffic bridge there. There's an old rail bridge there, and there's a bridge that is now for pedestrian and bike use. Maybe we'll do that in some other video. And I got to use my big brain coming up here because we've got a brand new roundabout installed. And this is my first time on this roundabout, and I don't want to mess up and be heading to Arkansas or Jackson, Mississippi. So let's see what my options are. Okay, looking for traffic there, but you guys look as well. It's looking good so far. That's where I came in, and this is where I'm going. All right, that was easy. So here we are approaching downtown. Is the road closed in front of us? I got flashing lights. Looks like they might have closed the Riverside Drive. Yeah, well, it's all right. I know about 10 other ways to get there. That's a good view of the river down there. The parks along the river and the new bridge and the pyramid. But we won't see that right now because that's all closed off. It is a long, desolate drive to Jackson, Mississippi. I know, I've done it many times. The trick is, you gotta know where the good places to stop are. Like for whatever reason, the McDonald's in Batesville has better Egg McMuffins than the McDonald's up here. So, I try not to stop in Jackson if I can help it at all. Nothing against Jackson, it's just all the good stuff in and around Jackson is so far from the highway that if you want to, because if I'm going through Jackson, it's because I'm headed to New Orleans and I want to get to New Orleans. I don't want to go hang out in Jackson too much longer than necessary. So if any of you guys have seen Mystery Train, I'll show you some of those spots on this little drive we're doing right now. Though they have been gentrified to a large degree since that movie was shot here. So these are all new construction in the last 15, 20 years. Up here there's a big farmer's market on Saturdays, and an old power plant here has been turned into a really cool movie theater called the Malco Powerhouse. But I went in that building back when it was still just an old decommissioned power plant. So we're going to turn right here, and we're going to be in Mystery Train world for a bit. So here's the old train station. There's the arcade restaurant there. Sometimes they're just slinging hash for tourists and they're too busy to care. But if you go there when they're not busy, it's usually quite good. We're on Old South Main here. That's where most of Mystery Train was shot. Right up here on the left where that vacant lot is next to Bluff City Coffee, I think that's where the Jesse James Hotel was. That's where the hotel they use for Mystery Train. Boy, this phone gets hot when you're live streaming like this. Civil Rights Museum, Blues Hall of Fame, Orpheum Theater, Beale Street. We won't be going to Beale Street, but I will show you guys down here something pretty damn important. Oh, they're doing renovation on this park here. Down there is the Lorraine Motel, and if I can get to it, let me go down this street and see if I can get right in front of it for you. That's where Dr. King was shot in '68. Which is now, the Lorraine Motel has now been turned into the National Civil Rights Museum. And it is fantastic, but they're doing some road construction, so I cannot take you there today. But I will get you guys there on a subsequent video. Maybe I can arrange. I mean, it's kind of a downer, but it's a necessary downer. You know, I think everyone who comes here should go there. Go to Graceland, sure, if you want to. But this is the real deal, and it'll rip your heart out if you got one. All right, so I'll head back down South Main a little bit. I guess there's nothing really there to show you. I'll take you guys to at least see the river in this video. Because everyone sings about the damn river so much, might as well see it, right? Old Man River, etc., etc. So, here is another view of the arcade restaurant, one of the most filmed spots in Memphis. If you want to set your movie in the 40s or 50s, you shoot there. And there is one of my favorite joints in all of Memphis. Late night, if you want to get yourself a soul burger. I think they're back in business. Ernestine and Hazel's. They had a fire, and then the previous owner committed suicide, and I thought it was going to be gone, but it is back up. Someone bought it and is running it, and apparently running it well. So, hey, Richard Nakamitsu, I see you there quoting Al Green. When we do the music tour, I will take you to Studios, Royal Studios, rather, where High Records did all their stuff, so where that Al Green song was recorded. Up here is the Hotel Chiska, where Elvis did some of his first broadcasts on the local radio. You can see glimmerings of how this place would have looked in the 30s and 40s. To the Orpheum, which is at Beale. We're not going to go down Beale Street because it's just nothing to see during the day, and it's just drunk tourists at night. The Orpheum Theater is a beautiful old theater inside, though. Really one of the great theaters of the South. Not quite as nice as, say, the Fox in Atlanta, or the Fox, for that matter, in St. Louis. But it is a beautiful place. And she is very happy to be in front of Beale Street, the Beale Street sign there. Many people are happy when they arrive. And I'm gonna see if the Riverside Drive is open at Beale Street, or if I need to take you guys down Front Street instead. Well, I know the guy who runs Royal Studios, Richard. That could be doable. I've done a few amps for him. Hell of a nice guy, the son of the man who ran it back in the 60s and 70s when Al Green was doing all his stuff there. So there's Beale Street Landing here, and it looks like I might be able to get on Riverside. No, it's got construction down there. I'll find the river another place for you. So we're going to go down Front Street. I'm sorry I'm having to handhold this. I hope it's not too herky-jerky for you. Mike Blue says he played the New Daisy Theater many moons ago. Yeah, I played the New Daisy a lot. And I love playing the New Daisy. That's a great venue. And it was fantastic in the 80s and 90s. It is no longer that. It may be running, but it's not running the way it was. When I put this phone in the holder I get for it, it overheats. It didn't do it this morning, so there's hope for us. But I may have to do that kind of thing only in the mornings. They got Riverside down there all blocked up. I was unaware of that. If any of you guys saw the Firm, that's all over in this area. What's happening? I hear there's vital amp information. Well, there will be at some point. Again, I want to do a live tour of Memphis music places, and I want it to work. And I thought, well, let me do some tests. And I've had some positive results today. I've had some real negative results today. I didn't expect for this drive to go so long, but then I'm like, what the hell? Here I am. I'll just work later tonight. Come on, people. It's 2 lanes here. You don't have to. All right, looks like Riverside's opened up now. I'll go down Jefferson. This hill at Jefferson's fun. It's a pretty steep hill going down here as we're about to turn left. And when I was learning to drive, we had a manual transmission car. My dad was teaching me to drive, and he said he would not even consider taking me to go get my license until I could come up that hill, come to this stoplight, come to a stop facing uphill, and then when the light turned green, go into first gear and go forward without sliding backwards down the hill at all, or without grinding gears. Took me about an afternoon's worth of work at it, but I got it. I don't know who was more proud of me, him or me. I tried to do that test to my nephew because I got him a car with a manual transmission. It did not go as well. It's a pretty good hill for Memphis, though. It was a great test of whether someone can really drive a stick, which I can. Unless your enemy has a steady capybara, or which I have. Alright, so there's the Bass Pro Shop, the bait shop of the gods. It was built to get us an NBA team and built to have mega concerts, and I found out it was too small for NBA team specs, and that the inside of a pyramid is a terrible acoustic environment. It really, really was. So, you know. Hey, Veteran Vibes, I'm glad you're liking that little DSL 40. They're good little amps. If you need something that's just kind of very versatile and loud enough for just about any gig you're gonna need, but with a master volume and effects loop and all that stuff, it's not a bad choice. Glad it's working out for you. And here's the famous shiny thing. Chicago's got their own famous shiny thing, but this is our shiny thing. I don't know what would happen if I were to go into the middle of that shiny thing on a day like today, but I imagine it'd be kind of like putting yourself in a microwave. Let's see if we survive going underneath this big overpass here at what used to be the convention center. Will we have connectivity? Will we make it? I do not know. I hope so. We're going under the major bridges here to Arkansas. All those there. And there's the Bass Pro Shop in all its bizarre glory. It is a interesting space inside. You guys can find videos people put up on the inside of that. People are always amazed, and they share their videos. I'll go across this bridge here to a place called Mud Island, where I can show you guys the river, and then we'll head back towards my part of town. I'm glad that it seems to be streaming well without cutting out now. I think taking the phone out of the case helped an awful lot. The phone is still warm, but it's not blindingly hot. And the holder does not seem as hot. But this entire time up to now, I've been going west, which is where the sun's getting itself in position to be. And I think on the way home, as I'll be driving east, I can put the phone back in the holder and not have it in direct sunlight under the dash. Maybe we won't overheat. This is kind of like a roller coaster here. There's the the new old bridge. They're about to build another new bridge, so that'll be the old new bridge. I remember when that opened, I think in '74. There's a good view of the river in front of us. Hey, another roundabout for all my European peeps. River's pretty high, it looks like. A lot of times that island over there has got big sandy beaches exposed, but it is very much an island right now. Sometimes those are just trees sticking out of water, so it's not as high as it often is. but it's pretty high. So I'll just come down here a little bit. I'll get out and stretch my legs a little bit, let you see it. For those of you who have not seen this river before. You know, you never see the same river twice or something like that, right? One of the reasons that bridge is there is one of the narrowest, this is one of the narrower parts of the river in these areas. Right here, you can't build it here. It's narrower over there than it is where the bridge is, but that's all swampy silt. But it's only, wife, I'll call her back. She's out of town. She knows I love her. It smells like the Mississippi River too. It's bigger than this when you get to New Orleans, but it's a lot smaller than this from St. Louis up. I guess it gets really big at about Cairo, where the Ohio, Missouri, and Mississippi have all merged. Storm clouds are coming in. We get most of our clouds, most of our storms from the southwest, and those are they. So this is Mud Island. It's a nice place. It's a nice place. It's very much a big, non-gated, gated community. But it is a pretty place to live when it doesn't flood. If you were moving here from California or Portland or maybe Boulder or Denver, and you're expecting a certain kind of lifestyle, I think Mud Island would appeal to you. It's ironic that it's right there on the river, but it's maybe the least Memphian of all the sections of Memphis. It's just an observation, not a criticism. It actually reminds me of some of the neighborhoods around DC, on the Beltway up there, Alexandria and such. Again, if you're being compared to Alexandria, Virginia, it's not exactly a harsh criticism. But it's really hard to get good fried chicken there. Alright, so we're going to head back towards my part of the world, and as we'll be driving mostly east and then a little bit south, I'm hoping that the phone doesn't overheat again. Those cranes are always working over there. That's where St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is, and they are always expanding. Which is good and bad. It's good that they have the money to expand as they need to, but it's bad that they need to expand as they need room for more kids with cancer. Life is certainly not fair, and you are certainly going to stop. Thank you. All right, so I'm about to show you guys one of the best barbecue restaurants in the world. That is not hyperbole. I saw some idiot on a YouTube channel saying that Texas had the world's best barbecue, and Texas barely even has barbecue. They waste all their time with chicken and turkey and cow and sausage. Barbecue is not those things. Those are just grilled things. Those are just smoked things. Now I say that, the place I'm about to show you also has really fantastic, what they call barbecue Cornish hens. But again, that is a smoked thing, because it does not take the same amount of time to do chicken as it does to do pork shoulder and ribs. Though to to be fair, brisket does take its time. It just doesn't have the right flavor and texture. And you won't tell me I'm wrong because you'll be too busy eating and saying, I'm sorry, well, you're right. Because it's so good. It's right up here, coming up on the right after this light. I will show it to you because I'm a kind soul. See, not only do I know where some of the best barbecue in the world is, I'm willing to share. And if we're about an hour later in the day, I might go in there and get some, but I'm not hungry right now, and I got stuff in the house I can fix. Maybe I'll come and get some tomorrow. Maybe I'll just get a big old mess of ribs and eat those on a live stream in front of you guys, make you all feel left out. Would that be intolerable cruelty? All right, right here on the right, cozy corner, right over there. That's what you want. Doesn't look like much from the road, but it's the real deal. When you have a sign like that dates from 1962, that's always a good sign. If you're driving out in the country and you see a place that's all white cement brick, like it used to be a garage, and they got a sign that says Pit Barbecue, that's where you go. You know, real plates and full tables aren't necessary. You don't even need napkins if it's good enough. You just use a piece of white bread. Hey, good, and I'm sorry to hear that. He's stuck in the hospital with a swollen foot. I hope you guys get that figured out. I need to make an appointment to get my my heel spur looked at. But I know why. It's an old injury I picked up in France. Sounds like a World War I story, doesn't it? No, I walked too many miles in a day in Paris. My feet swelled up, and I did something ignorant to my left Achilles tendon, and now I've got massive heel spurs. The things I don't usually share on the channel. It's an old injury I picked up in France. Sounds much more romantic, don't you think? So we're back in the pretty houses already. And I was talking about the parkways in an earlier stream. We are now on North Parkway. I hope that part of the earlier part of the stream didn't work out. That's right. That was the one that didn't go. We're crossing the interstate now. The old section of what's now called Midtown Memphis, but back at the time was just Memphis, was kind of bound on three sides by the parkways: North Parkway, East Parkway, and South Parkway. Some people saying Danny Thomas was the other line. Some people saying all the way downtown. Some people saying Crosstown. I think Crosstown was designed to be the middle of it. We're right about to go underneath Crosstown here, where we're at now. But a lot of us who live in Midtown spend a lot of time being proud that we never had to go beyond the parkways. As economies changed and malls came and places where you could buy things changed, some stuff moved out of beyond East Parkway, and some of us will go a mile or two east of East Parkway without feeling like traitors to the cause. But we still prefer to stay inside the parkways whenever possible. So right now I'm on North Parkway, which means I'm at the very edge of my home base. And by home base, I really do mean places where I used to habitually ride my mock tutors, Wolford, by where the zoo is, and head back to my neighborhood. And I want to see if all this is working. Buffering, fuck. I hate it when it buffers. I'm not seeing any. Yeah, okay. Transmission is unstable due to a weak network connection. Is it getting hot again? Is that a warning sign? Is anyone still here, or did I buffer everyone away? as I had it back on the holder, even though it was facing away from the sun. Right now, I'm not sure the fan would be of any use to us, because you hear the fan. We're in the neighborhood around the zoo. My buddy Steve Selbage lives out here. He's got a lovely house with a beautiful wife, and he asked himself, how did he get here? And I said, well, you turn on Peach, and you turn on Hawthorne, and there you are, Steve. I'm not going to point out where his house is. And yeah, Joanne is lovely. Anyway, we are going to get back to where I once belonged. Earlier, I got us on Poplar Avenue on the first stream of the day. We're getting back on it on Poplar Avenue at a different stretch. And there's some things on Poplar Avenue I'll be showing you guys as part of the tour when I do the music tour video. But I gotta get some more of these Wi-Fi live streaming bugs worked out. It seems to be mostly related to thermal issues. And the thermal issues are related both to how hot it is under the glass here, and just the strain of broadcasting, even though I set it to 720 instead of 1080. So I need to see when I watch this back. Am I dropping down below 720 a lot? I know there's going to be some buffering spots. There are places where I don't have any control over it. It's going to be Verizon's fault when it drops out. Maybe there's some settings I could do in thermal management, and maybe just wrapping the whole thing in some white toilet paper and just letting doing something so that the back of the phone is white instead of dark gray. I don't know. They have coolers that magnetically attach to iPhones. May need to get one of them. Of course, I'm not sure if that would work in a holder. Of course, this holder is black and graphite, and it gets pretty warm sitting there in the sun. I have a feeling that a lot of such devices like this and that aren't fully tested in a Memphis summer, let alone a Houston or New Orleans summer. Other parts of the world don't get summer the way we get summer. It's really hard to describe unless you've been here. And then you're too lethargic to describe it. Here we are, just catching a yellow light on Madison Avenue. Nikki lived in those apartment buildings when I first met her. Of interest to few, but I suppose of interest. And we're approaching my neighborhood. Once we cross Union, we'll be in the beginnings of Central Gardens, and then once we cross Central, we'll be back in Cooper Young, my neighborhood. And it is a hot day, and I think I might go get a beer before I get back to the house and do a bunch of work. So I think I'm going to show you guys a great place to have a beer, and then I'm going to go in and have a beer, and I'll call Nikki back and see what's up with her. She's traveling. She should be in Salt Lake City today. She's going to a visual communications conference, because she is a high muckety-muck in the world of design, graphic arts. That's how I got to go to Oxford, England with her, because she was speaking at Oxford University, and she needed a tour guide and translator and bodyguard. So I was all those things. But in Salt Lake City, she's kind of on her own. They almost speak English there, I suppose. Yeah, she's got a very good friend, wonderful lady who lives out there. So Nikki's just going to spend the next week and a half, 2 weeks, bouncing from dear friend to dear friend. So I won't feel too sorry for her. Who I feel sorry for is Bella, our lab, because the labs, you can't say she'll be back in a week and a half, 2 weeks. Every day at about, probably about this time, about 5 o'clock, 5:30, depending on the sun, Bella is going to go to the front door and just wait for Nikki to get home. And she'll probably sit there till 11 o'clock at night, every night for 2 weeks, waiting for Nikki to get home. And she'll look at me from time to time and say, "You're okay, but you're not a fit substitute." And, that's just my life. Hey, Brad, you're just in time to see me in the stream and get a beer. But I'm at Central Avenue. I'm at McLean and Boulevard and Central Avenue. To my right and left and behind me are Central Gardens. Right in front of me is Cooper Young, which is where I'm headed. And I'm headed down to that Irish pub I was telling you about, Celtic. And I think I'm going to get a Smithwick's, or maybe a Boddington's. It's kind of maybe a Boddington's kind of day, something a little bit lighter. And I'm going to sit on the patio and watch this back and curse it all the time so that the bit rate goes to hell, or things freeze up. Things freeze up because the phone overheats. Yay, let's see. I guess I'll go down here because the place I want to go is at the end of this street. And it may look like I'm driving faster than I am. I am going 25. This is a residential street with kids and cats and stuff. But I was watching the footage back earlier, and it's weird. I was going like 85. It looked like I might have been going 60 because the phone depth and width is it's not accurate. But this is more my world in terms of the size of the houses here. These are the houses I see. These are the people that you meet when you're walking down the street. They're the people that I meet most days. These are the Daves I know. These are the Daves I know. Now, normally I walk down to this little pub, but I didn't want to park at my house and then walk down to the pub and have you guys find out where exactly I live. So I have a purpose holder right here, Brad. And you know what this purpose holder does? Makes the phone overheat. So I've only glanced at what people have said from time to time. I just saw yours. I'm a speed reader, but no, I promise I've been safe, and I set out with every intent to observe the law. But it was just very, very difficult as the phone kept overheating. We're gonna walk over to Celtic. I had to take my OtterBox case off the phone, and then I took the phone out of the holder because the combination was just death. It was just overheating like hell. So this is Cooper Young. This is one of my favorite parts of Memphis. This is like the Brooklyn-y bit of Memphis. And this is where we spend most of our time. There's just restaurant and bar, and Cooper House is new. I haven't tried that yet. I've heard it's good. We got a Lebanese joint there. Tsunami specializes in seafood. Brooks Bookstore there, like I was talking about earlier, is a fantastic little bookstore. Alchemy, a little bit Nouvelle cuisine, but it's good. Margaritas, which just a basic good Chinese Mexican place there. A pretty good Mexican Chinese place, but the sauces are a little too sweet. Deli, the Young Avenue Deli, which is a great place to get a sandwich and chips, where I take Brad if you were in town. Some new places here that opened up. A place called Hammer and Ale that specializes in really nice beers and ales, so they tend to go a little towards the the hoppy and citrusy end of things. The Memphis Drum Shop, which is right. Hey, Vertex. Hey there, Mason. Yeah, Memphis Drum Shop is one of the absolute best drum shops in the world. I shit you not. It's a shame that I no longer play drums, because if I did, I have an excuse to go in there and have them on the channel. But it's either I can have drums again or I can stay married. And given the I'll walk down there a little bit and show you guys through the window at least. Given the amount of square footage in our house, I think even a four-piece would be grounds for divorce, let alone the volume issues. That does not mean that I cannot get an electronic drum set at some point. But I do like the real deal much better. I'd rather have some old Ludwigs or old set of Gretches than something fantastic. But something modern, fantastic that works with headphones is not a bad thing. Mom didn't teach me to look both ways, Russ. Mom died in traffic. She only looked one way. Thanks for bringing that up. So from the outside, anyone want to play John Bonham? So you can do the Bonham, or you can do the Nick Mason, your choice there. These same cymbals and gongs have been in the same windows for the last 20 years. I think they put them here because people aren't likely to steal them with the grills. And here's a nice temple gong. If you're Balinese gong and stand, it's not for sale. Here are the real things coming up, if they have them from the outside. Some cymbal making goodies. I don't know how much of this you're seeing or just seeing reflections of me. I'd have to talk to Bill and the guys to see if it'd be okay to go in there and film for you someday, but Sunday I could do that. Looks like they might be closed or closing now, but this is just the front room. The best stuff is back there. I don't know if you can see it because of the reflection, but back, let's see where the whole thing is angled weird. Back in that square over that set of Yamahas there in the middle, you can see an old Rogers kit up against the wall. If you're seriously into drums, they have everything. There's a beautiful old Rogers set there in the corner. But out here, we're seeing the reflections more than we're seeing the drums. Sorry. I don't want to go into a business and start filming without permission, even though I know the guys. It's one of the reasons I would call Bill and ask first. But I'm sure they do have Star Classics. They have just about every major brand, and they got everything. Everything from exports to the top of the line. DW and Gretsch and Ludwig, and they're gonna have the Star Classics and the Star Classic Maples, and if they don't got it, they can get it. Upstairs, because that building used to be the old neighborhood movie theater, upstairs is a performance space where they do drum clinics. I saw Sugarfoot Robinson, J.R. Robinson up there, Dave Weckl did a thing up there, Cayuta did a thing up there. So if you are a drummer, this is a good town to be in, as long as you got a pocket. Otherwise, you ain't gonna have no gigs, no matter how shiny your stuff is. But of all these wonderful options, I think I'm going to sit out on the patio here at Celtic Crossing and have a beer, and technically an ale, and review everything that I have just done to see how useful or useless it may be. And I'll be at one of these spots over here, and I'll catch you guys on the next ones. So thanks for watching, and I'm surprised it made it this long. We got 48 minutes out of this one after the thermal issues, and I'll see what I can do to alleviate that going forward. So until then, cheers.